Good morning. I'm a self-styled expert in the area of everything you want me to be. I only exist in the gaze of my viewer, and my viewer is a maternal figure, and I will create a shared fantasy and I will suck you in as an introject that is a reduced but idealized version of you, and I will validate this idealized picture of you that will release dopamine in your system, and I will coerce you to idealize me back. So subscribe already and give me a comment. Alright, no, really, there was someone who commented and told me that I made a mistake. Probably, I think the mistake was that I diagnosed people, so I treated them as narcissists and psychopaths and not as human beings, something like that. And I can't diagnose people, for they don't want to be diagnosed, even though I offered them, we can do this together. I will take the same treatment as you. We do the brain scan and the diagnosis, but they didn't want to do so. Now I call them by the name, narcissist and psychopath. Anyway, no, the person told me it's I should treat people the way I want to be treated, and it is good to be reminded of not becoming a monster when fighting monsters. That's true. But the purpose of this channel is to raise awareness for narcissists and psychopaths, and I don't consider narcissists and psychopaths complete human beings. And when you treat them the way you want to be treated, this was a little bit dangerous. When you treat them the way you want to be treated, you will easily be self-defeated. So you can do that. It's dangerous to do this. They see it as a weakness, you know. So don't treat them as you want to be treated. Don't treat them at all. Hold them accountable for what they do, not for what they say. What they say doesn't matter at all. It's fake. Hold them accountable for what they do and the outcomes of what they do. And that's all. Why are they not human? This opinion is not my opinion originally. I got this from Sam Vaknin, who is a double diagnosed narcissist and a professor, a very accomplished professor in the field of narcissism and narcissistic abuse recovery. And he says they are not human. A narcissist or a psychopath is not human. What is this point of view? It means that these people lack essential features that a individuated human being should possess to enjoy all the duties and rights of being a human. They lack empathy. They lack a moral core. They lack a moral compass. Most of them are evil, and yesterday I also found out that the reason for that is the death drive. The death drive goes back to a work of Sabina Spielrein, a Russian or Ukrainian psychoanalyst. Of course it had to be a woman who discovered the death drive. I had to make this joke, of course. And the death drive is I believe innate in narcissists and psychopaths. It emanates from the bad object, from the introjected dead mother. It emanates from the grandiose self also. And I believe it is acquired. The death drive, I believe the death drive is acquired, but people are still not 100% decisive about this. So there is a discussion about whether the death drive is acquired or whether we are born with it, and I believe we are not born with it. I believe we might be born with a very slight form, but to call it drive would be too much. So I believe the death drive is acquired, and I also believe he is not distinguishable from libido. So we are born with libido. Everybody is born with libido, but narcissists and psychopaths have a kind of tainted and poisoned libido, which attaches a death drive to libido. I can't go into detail with this, but yeah, in my opinion, there is no duality. They are not antagonists. It's not two forces that oppose each other, the life drive and the death drive. No. For narcissists and psychopaths, the life drive is connected to the death drive. And the death drive stands for external and internal aggression, hateful behavior, self-destructive or externally destructive behavior. Also, it manifests in manic phases when a person wants to cease to exist. They want to stop existing. It shows that narcissists can't stand their own company. They are easily bored when they are alone, and they can't stand themselves because their bad object, the introject, the voice in their head, starts telling them that they are unlovable and they need distraction from that. And this creates evil behavior, hateful behavior that is externalized, because narcissists live in a fantasy, in a shared fantasy, and everybody who interacts with the narcissist gets introjected and gets part of the fantasy, whether you want it or not. Therefore, you also can't talk to narcissists or psychopaths. By the way, psychopaths have reality testing. They also create fantasies, but they can exit and enter them at will. But you can't talk about narcissists or psychopaths about their mental condition, because some psychopaths might be self-aware, but this is their best kept secret. They will never admit it, and narcissists cannot be self-aware. A self-aware narcissist, per definition, is a collapsing narcissist. If they see who they really are, this is the end of the grandiose self. There might be some exceptions. There might be self-aware narcissists. Yes, just like Sam Vaknin. It's amazing what this man is making out of his self-awareness. Yeah, so death drive is attached to the libidal energy for narcissists and psychopaths. These humans are, some of them are actively evil, some just passively evil, which means the passively evil are just indifferent about everybody and goal-oriented and selfish. The actively evil are sadistic and use projective identification. They are not aware of it, but they are. So you can't tell them, oh, this, you can't talk to them about this. This is why I say, treat everybody the way you want to be treated, except of people who show you that they see this, that you treat them the way you want to be treated, as a weakness. Use it against you and go to the extent that you will lose your life if you keep on doing this mistake to treat them the way you want to be treated. So Therefore, don't treat them at all. Hold them accountable not for their words. Narcissistic psychopaths say A, do B, and the outcome is C. So hold them accountable for B and C, for what they do and what the outcome is. What they say is irrelevant. It's fake. They fake. Yes, sir. So that being said, treat others the way you want to be treated. Human beings. Treat human beings the way you want to be treated. Narcissists and psychopaths are not human beings if you define a human being as a person that has empathy, a moral compass, and is not highly manipulative and evil. And this is my definition for a human being. So I also would say that I don't believe in any systemic problem in the world. There is no innate systemic problem in the world. There are no minorities or groups of people that deserve to be oppressed. Except there is one systemic problem, and that is mental illness. That is the real systemic problem that is all pervasive and a challenge to tackle, something to accept in the first place and to live with it. Therefore, my channel exists to raise awareness.